Up, up, down, down, left, right, VA select start. Some of you may not know what that means. That's the old Konami code, an old cheat in games from the 1980s to get rewards. But since the 1980s, video games have become, and have a ton more potential to be so much more than just entertainment. In fact, a Thesa article stated that 2018 was a record-breaking year for the industry, with video game sales exceeding $43.4 billion, and over 164 million adults in the US play video games. Video games have a variety of health benefits, both physical and mental. Sylvia Ascolari from MarketWatch says that one area already being explored is using video games to help focus, multitask, and use working memory. Several different games have already had a focus on health of the player. I mean, Nintendo's Wii Fit, Brain Age, and Just Dance are a few examples. Video games can also help children and even adults learn complex ideas. Araceli interviews Brock, a game developer and author, together with Laura Parker of PowerPlay, how video games can save the world. In the article, Brock asks, for kids, what could be more engaging than learning from a fun game and that makes them make real choices? Brock then goes on to talk about how video games can help with other mental issues, such as ADHD, and help detect early signs of Alzheimer's. Becoming fit and helping ADHD are one of many possibilities that are out there, but they're going to be the ones that we focus on today. So, video games like Just Dance and Dance Dance Revolution. If you don't know what they are, they're kind of like action, like motion games. So you'll be holding something like a controller, and then you'll be moving, you'll move it to what they do on the screen. Dancing is a great way to stay in shape, and products like Zumba have already explored the concept of dance fitness. Through like you moving the controller, they will be able to sense your movement, and if you follow where they want you to, like the movement patterns, you'll get more points for it. Even a Fitness Blender article states doing 30 minutes of the game burns roughly 200 calories. Bump your playtime up to an hour, and you're looking at a whopping 400 calories. And that's not based off of a specific person. It's just off of a standard idea of a person. Just Dance is being used to help people in hospitals and rehab centers undergoing physical rehabilitation as well. In an article by Geek.com, the reason that Just Dance is still being released on the Wii is because of that reason. The Wii got discontinued in October of 2013, yet recently, the latest installment, Just Dance 2020, was the last game to ever be ported to the Wii. Why? Why was a 2020 game getting put on something that was discontinued 7 years ago? Well, it's because the Wii's cheap, and facilities can afford to keep them. Not every place can afford to buy the new upgrade every year, and most definitely not keep with the trends. And not just that, but the Wii is something very simple that's not very hard to figure out how to use, and up to 4 people can play at once. And whenever you're in a large facility like that, having some group time, you can have smaller groups of people that get to play the Wii at the same time and have fun. But video games can also be used for problem solving and research. In an article from the University of Arizona, the author talks about how to study to help find a protein that causes AIDS in monkeys. The article goes, back in 2008, a scientific online game called Fold It was released to the public. Designed by the University of Washington Center for Game Science and in collaboration with the UW Department of Biochemistry. Pop off, biochemistry and game design coming together. But Fold It was released as an experimental research project with one aim in mind: to challenge humans to use their problem-solving abilities in a competitive environment to help predict the structures of a protein and design new proteins in turn. So, the protein problem presented with a genuine one that had stumped AIDS researchers for more than 10 years, and discovering the proteins that cause AIDS in monkeys. And, once the game was actually in hands of the gamers around the world, the problem was solved in 10 days. It had stumped the researchers for more than 10 years. 2 years and 57,000 players later, Folded games were outperforming computer algorithms designed to find solutions to additional biochemistry and molecular questions. This just shows what working together can solve problems that have stumped researchers for years, and the best way to do that is arguably with video games. And of course, there are huge controversies surrounding video games. Some people point out video games is the cause of mass shootings. Well, there was large deaths before video games that were invented. And not just that, but other media like movies and TVs portray the same amount of violence, if not more. And not just that, but there has been an increasing population over the last few years, and that means if people with guns were more likely to be mass shooters, it means that correlation isn't causation equally. Like in a New York Times article, it states that the data on bananas causing suicide is about just as conclusive as the idea of video games causing violence. The article even then says that the studies have been rejected by every court to even consider them. And not just that, but with so many people playing video games, there's no evidence to show that they cause violence. And not just that, but these ideas can be seen as archaic, and they're also not good reasons to stop the production of all video games, even if these people don't agree. I personally love video games, and I hope you learned a little bit more about my favorite pastime. P.S. I can beat anyone in Just Dance.